Well, an initiative that I'm excited to bring back and be working on again is the Youth Partnership Initiative. It was something that I worked on and in fact established and chaired when I was in municipal government, and it's something with Pastor Don Palmer of Forestburg Community Church and a lot of different community leaders we're bringing back. And really this initiative is to take all of those groups and individuals, whether or not they're in government, they're in non-governmental organizations, not-for-profit, or those who are in the faith community, to bring them together and ask how can we work together to make sure that we're serving the needs of youth. And I think we spend a lot of time talking about how to punish youth that are bad. We don't spend nearly enough time thinking of how we support youth and encourage them positively. How do we make sure that they don't turn down those dark paths in the first place? And so often we can see when that investment isn't put in, when that guidance isn't there, that's when problems happen, and that's where our focus needs to be. So one of our first events was the Youth Action Forum, where we launched our booklet, which is a guide to youth services in our community, that outlines exactly what's available in our community and who's doing what and how to contact those that are in our community doing work already. It serves as a jumping point for people to find information and to take action to help youth and to volunteer, to get involved. But it also helps us to identify what isn't being done, where the gaps are. So our next steps are going to be to take from that document what we need to be doing and what we really need as a community and how we can work on it collectively. I encourage anybody who's interested in the local area to ask for this youth services guide. I think you'll find it very interesting. And more broadly, for those people who aren't in the area, I think we have to ask this question of how we come together as a community and really address the needs that are facing youth. Well, speaking of youth, something that I think is a lot of fun is a project that we engaged in partnership with Applecroft Public School. This is a time of year that we're all thinking about what it means to be Canadian. And so we asked the students of Applecroft Public School to share with us what it meant to them to be Canadian. We got a lot of fantastic responses. We're going to be sending those all throughout the community over the next couple of weeks. But I thought I'd share some of the responses that we got now because I think they're pretty profound. One is, here's one from Sidra, who writes, "Being Canadian means that we are equal to anyone else, whether we are black, white, or brown. It means if someone wants to wear a hijab to school, they can." Taylor writes, "Canadians are brave and fight for those who can't fight for themselves." Gazenfar writes, "Donating makes you a better person and shows you care for people. A good Canadian citizen always cares for the people." Tamara writes, "Our freedoms are the greatest part about being Canadian." And finally, Noah, in a rather humorous way, sums up some of the differences between ourselves and the Americans by saying, "They say Z and we say Z." So as we head towards Canada Day and our summer plans, some reflections on what it means to be Canadian. And I think particularly as we watch events unfold in Iran, where people are fighting just to have the legitimacy of their vote recognized and to have honest election results, it's a time for us to reflect upon how lucky we are to be Canadian and how lucky we are to have the opportunity to express ourselves and our political will.